everyone, I'm Miss Melena from the Highland Park Public Library and welcome to Library in Your Living Room. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a DIY macrame air plant holder. This is a super fun, awesome craft and I hope you enjoy. So when you open your bag from the library, you will see that you have a big thing of 8 macrame ropes that I've knotted together. Those are super long and those are going to be what you use to create your plant holder. You're going to have a wooden dowel. This will actually be what you use to build the macrame on. And then you have 2 shorter ropes and a little baby air plant, which you'll use at the end. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is to actually take your dowel and you're going to tie one of your shorter ropes on to the dowel on either end to create the hanger that you'll be able to use to hang your macrame. So as you can see, I've tied my shorter string onto the dowel that was included, and I actually just have it hanging from a cabinet door handle. But you could use the back of a chair, you can use a hook, you could use a doorknob, whatever you might have available so that you can suspend your dowel and do your work. So the first, with your long 8 strings that you have included, you are going to take it, loop it like this, and make sure that it's even on the bottom. And with all 8 strings, you're going to be doing what's called a lark's head knot. And if you needed more help seeing how to form that and do that, I have included in the kit step-by-step illustrated instructions. But basically, with a lark's head, you're going to put, with the loop here, you're going to bring your other strings, part of the bottom string through, and just pull it like so. So it makes a little knot that looks like this. And you're going to repeat this with all 8 of your strings. So now that you have completed all your lark's head knots and your strings are on your dowel, the next step is to do some square knots. Again, I have included illustrated instructions that are step-by-step on how to do a square knot, but you're going to start with your first 4 strings, and the string on the far left, because we're working left to right, will go under the next 2 strings over the last string. Then the last string, which is under the initial string, will go over the middle 2 strings and through. And so when you pull it through before you tighten it, a square's head knot kind of looks like this. Then you're going to pull that by pulling the 2 side strings to tighten it up. And then you're going to repeat because we're going to be doing a double square knot. So under, over, over, and through. So you're just going to repeat this process with the next 4 strings exactly the same way. Under, over, and then this string will be under, over, and through. And again, it's a double square knot, so you'll be doing it twice on each set of strings that you work on. And you're going to repeat this process until you've done it on all of the strings. And that will give you your first row of double square knots. And as you keep doing this, you'll be getting the hang of it, and it'll just be faster and easier for you to work. And then finally, I'm going to do it on our last set of strings. And now, once we finish this double square knot, we're actually going to do what's called an alternating square knot, so that we end up getting kind of like a zigzag pattern. And so for this, you're going to not touch these first two strings. Leave those alone, and you're going to use these two and the next two to do another double square knot. So it's the same process again that you've been doing: under, over, through. And then a second time because it's a double square knot. And then the next 4 strings, repeat the process. And if your strings ever get twisted, like if these two kind of get twisted like this, you can always untwist them. Sometimes that happens. And then finally, these 4. And you'll notice, once you complete this set of double square knots, that you're going to have 2 strings left over on the right side. Just like we did not use the first 2 on the left side, we will also not use the last 2 on the right side. So these didn't end up getting knotted. And this creates the zigzag pattern that we're looking for. So we're going to continue with square knots, and this is where it gets a little confusing, so definitely pay attention, pause if you need to. So we're going to start on the left, and we're not going to do the first 4 strings. We're going to leave those alone, and we're going to take the next 4 strings, and again we're going to do our square knot. So under, over, through. And it's a double. We're just doing double square knots this whole time. So repeat, under, over, through. And then now you're actually going to do that with the 4 that you didn't touch originally. So the 4 on the left, you're going to do the same thing, a double square knot. So again, if you need to pause because this gets confusing, we're going to be hopping around on a lot of strings. Or you can write it down, like watch it and write it down. So we did those, and now we're going to leave 2 on the end, and we're going to do the next 4. The same process that we've been doing this whole time. That step doesn't change, it's just which strings we do it on that changes. So we're going to do another double square knot there, under, over, through. You guys are probably getting to be pros at these square knots now, which is helpful. And then we're going to do the 4 on the left again. So under, over, through. And do it a second time because we're doing double square knots. Now, once this one is completed, we're going to take the 4 strings in the very center, which are these 4. So it's going to be 2 from this side and 2 from this side. You see how there's kind of a division here? And those will be the 4 you're going to do it on now. So exact same process that we've been doing. A double square knot on those. And if this part was a bit, I know I said in the center, So maybe I should let you know that there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this side, because that's the side you've been knotting, and then you'll use like the next 4. And then after we do that, we're going to do the 4 on this side on the right and do our square knot there. So now we're moving over to the other side. So again, a double square knot. And this will start to make sense and look like something as we keep going. Then you're going to leave the 2 on the far right out, and you're going to do the next 4 over. So these 2 you leave out, you do your double square knot on the next 4, just to the left of the 2 on the far right. So I know, again, I'm so sorry, this can be kind of confusing, the order of this. So one thing I did when I was learning was I wrote it down and then followed what I had written. Now that we did that, we're going to do the 4 on the right one more time. So same process. And now I think you'll be beginning to see that it's going to come together with a matching pattern. So we'll get that through. These got a little twisted, so just fix them. So, as you can see, we've created kind of a triangle pattern on both sides that's even. So that's the next step. Next, you're going to be doing what's called a double half hitch. And again, I have instructions included with step-by-step illustrations on how to do a double half hitch knot. What we're going to be doing is an actual vertical double half hitch. And so we're going to start by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strands on your left. And then the very next one, which is number 9, is going to become your lead cord. It's called a lead cord. You're going to hold it in your left hand the whole time, and you're going to do your double half hitches around this lead cord. So just don't let it go with your left hand. A double half hitch is almost like a simple knot. The first string will go under and over and through, and just kind of come up here like this, and then you're going to repeat because it's a double. So that was 1, this is 2, under, over, and you're going to pull it through, and then kind of put that off to the side and grab your next cord in line, under, over, and through, and then you'll repeat. And the best thing I can tell you to keep track of your lead cord is to just don't let it go. And so you'll be knotting with your right hand, essentially. You'll be doing all the work with your right hand on this side and holding your lead cord with your left. And when we switch to do the other side, it'll be the opposite. But for now, I don't want to confuse you, so we're just going to keep going each string twice to make that double half hitch. We'll move on to the next one. And as you can see, it's starting to make just like a nice line there. And this is actually going to be how we create the pocket for your air plant. So keep going. And a few more. So again, we're just going to finish this. Got 2 more. And I should point out that if you, for some reason, because, you know, do your knot over, under, or something, it's going to look a little bit different. So you'll know if you're doing it right because it's going to line up like this. And the other way, it kind of looks like this. So that's the back side. So that would be if you do your knot kind of in the reverse, it will look like that and you'll know it's wrong. But this is correct. And now you're going to do another vertical double half hitch going the opposite direction. So you're going to count off 2, 4, 6, 8 chords on this side, and then you'll take this one, and this will be your lead chord. You will hold that in your right hand the whole time. And again, you're going to do 2 knots because it's a double half hitch. So we want to make sure that you're doing 2. And there we go. We're going to take the next one and repeat that and keep going while we make our next line. And you may have heard my cat in the background. This is one of my cats is tortured by this because she wants to play with these and I keep having to shoo her away. So if you have a cat, you might be encountering similar issues right now if you're working on yours. So let's see. Just keep on going down the line until we finish all the strings. And here I kind of made a mistake because I picked one at the end, but it's okay because I noticed. And if you ever do that, you can always undo the knots because they're quite easy to undo if you make a mistake. This is like really forgiving chord we're using. So let's finish this off until we have our 2 neat and finished double half hitches. So I might have my cat jump onto the screen now. She's definitely considering it. Maybe you might see her make a cameo. Okay, so now we have the completed double half hitches in both directions. So now we're going to create or attempt to create a diamond shape with more double half hitches. And this one, you're going to divide your ropes like 8 on either side. And your lead chord is now going to end up being this one on the far left. And you'll be taking the one furthest away of your 8 and doing a double half hitch onto the new lead chord, which I'm actually, you just keep going this way. So it's, you can see, it will start to sort of cover where you're doing it from. So you can see they're like underneath. So I'm just going to take the next one. So this one you're taking the chords from left to right. I have a cat now over here grabbing them. I know earlier in the segment before this, my cat was all over it. So, but yeah, it gets a little tricky because you have to keep track of which chords you've actually done. So it's a good idea, if you can, to be counting. So you know you've used all of them. So I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, oh, stop eating that, kitty. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. And then you're gonna repeat by using your last chord again as the lead chord and moving the opposite direction. So on the other side, you want to repeat that. And so I don't know if you can see, but my cat is really interacting with these right now. You probably can't see him, but he's down there grabbing all of them. So again, doing double half hitches, going the opposite direction. And remember, your lead chord is now the one furthest away instead of the one from the center. And you're going to do 2 for each chord. And hopefully you will not have the added challenge of a cat going after all of your chords like I do right now. Okay, let go of it. Thank you. And, excuse me, I've got a kitty who's really grabbing onto these right now. A couple more. And if it turns out that he makes it a little knotted or bad, I can still, if you recall, undo it and fix it, because that's always something we can do. And just so you see what I'm dealing with, well, I'll just tilt down there for a second. Got a little activity going on there. Okay, so now that we finished the bottom part of our diamonds, we're going to take our 2 lead cords and just make simple double knot on the bottom here to completely put the diamond together. For this part of our vertical double hitch on the left, the top part, we held the lead cord the whole time with our left hand. And for the top vertical double hitch on the right, we held the lead cord with our right hand. But for the bottom vertical double hitch on the left, we held the lead cord with our right hand. So it was the opposite from the top. The top was the left, the bottom was the right. And then this bottom double half hitch on the right, we held the lead cord with our left. So this top part was with our right, this bottom part was with our left. It was reversed. So now we kind of want to do just a few more square knots. So we are going to take the 2 end pieces and we're just going to make these 2 that are on the end the middle, and the next 2 we'll do our double square knot. If you recall, it's under, over, under, over, through, and we're going to do 2 of those here. So this is kind of creating, if you will, the little pouch that your air plant is going to sit in. So we'll do those 2 there, and now you're going to take the 2 from this side, and you're going to take these 2, and remember, bring this one into the center, and you'll do 2 more square knots on this side. And then you're going to repeat this with the 2 from this side and these 2. So this one on the end will become one of the center strings. And I'm going to do that. 2 more. And now, after this, you're almost done completely. So now we're going to take the center 4 and just do a regular, like we kind of did at the beginning, square knot. And now you're almost done, because all that's left is to secure this area. And I just want to show you, we've kind of created, I'm going to unhook this briefly, a little pouch here. And when these all come together, you're going to be able to stick your air plant right in there, and then it'll pop out the front. So now I'll show you the next step. Okay, now we're ready for the last step. As you can see, everything's ready, but you do want to create that pocket by tying it up at the bottom. So we're going to flip this over to the back side, and with your other smaller piece of string that you have, you're going to make a loop, and you're going to put the loop portion down with the end sticking up, and then you're just going to wrap your string around while holding, see, here's the loop and the other side. Just wrap this all the way around, making some layers until, let's see, we'll keep doing that. And then, see, it's just making some lines, you're just wrapping it, super simple. So keep doing that until you get to the end, and then pull that in through the loop. And then this side you're going to pull up to get that all, see how it's disappearing into there. And then you're just going to tuck that end, take some scissors, cut this end, tuck that, and we'll flip it back around. See, you have created now your pocket for your air plant. And then these ends, which are kind of all different lengths from the work you did, you can just take a pair of scissors and maybe just chop however you feel. I'm just gonna cut some of them on the bottom so it's just a little bit more uniform. And there you have it. You're ready for your air plant. And when you get your air plant, you're just gonna stick it right in the pouch. So I have an air plant here. It's kind of larger than the one you're gonna get, but would you believe that this used to be a super tiny air plant just like yours? And by keeping it in some nice sunlight and spraying it a few times a week, it grew quite large. So I'm just gonna stick it in like this, and there you have it. So you can put yours in as well. And to care for it, you can remove it to spray it, and then let it dry out on maybe a counter or a table, and then you can put it back in. As it gets bigger, you can actually just spray it directly in your macrame holder. Well, I hope you enjoyed this craft, and please check out our other awesome videos at hplibrary.org. Bye-bye, everybody. See you at the library.